There we
And we're
go.
live.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Office 365 Pulse, missing Adam today, but we have Tom and myself and Tamara, so ready to give you guys the update about what's in development, meaning Microsoft is working on it, what is rolling out, which means it has started rolling out to a tenant near you, but maybe not yours, but should be coming soon as it rolls through the cycle, launched, which means it should be launched in all of the tenants where it's listed as coming and available, and canceled, except for this week we have no cancels. So last week we had no launched. Today we have no canceled. So I think I'd rather have a whole bucket of launched versus a bunch canceled. So I think we're good there. So we'll go ahead and get started with in development. And I'll let Tamara go first. Tamara, what do you love about what's in development?
Sure, there's a couple things that I love about what's in development, but I'll only talk about a couple. One, Microsoft Teams, unique join links for external presenters in webinars. So when organizers set up events and add external presenters, these presenters will receive unique join links for the webinar. This unique link allows the external presenter to automatically bypass the lobby and join the webinar directly as a presenter role, which means you can still have the attendees' microphones and cameras turned off. And this presenter, although external and all would have been covered under that attendee setup, they'll be able to present. So I like that. That's exciting to me. And then also SharePoint accessibility improvements to page authoring. Anytime I see improvements to accessibility, I get excited.
Absolutely.
So to support accessibility best practices, Microsoft has made some improvements to the page authoring experience. So it's added functionality to mark images as decorative. So decorative images will be ignored by assistive technology, including screen readers. And this addition has been made to the following: background image of the title region, image added in line with the text web part, image web part, image gallery, hero, call to action, and quick links. Then changed, the heading level 1 will be reserved for the page title in the title area. Then headings can still be used to a page at levels 2 through 4 using the web parts. And this makes it easier for users of screen readers to understand how your page is constructed. Because what the screen reader will allow them to do is skip from heading 1 to heading 1 to heading 1 to heading 1, and then go back to the top and do heading 2, heading 2, heading 2, heading 2. So it allows them, like we do visually, to scan the document to find what interests them. So I'll stick with those two for now.
I love the fact they're doing the pictures. It's like, this is decorative only, just ignore it. I think that is an awesome change. I'm going to go ahead and take a chunk of 4 a little further down on the list because they are all whiteboard. So whiteboard's getting some development love this week. First one, Microsoft Forms poll loop component live copy paste. So the ability to copy and paste existing Microsoft Forms poll loop components into whiteboard and vice versa. So I think that's really nice that they're starting to incorporate loop into whiteboard, which I know they've done some, but the more the merrier. Whiteboard, app mentions within comments. The ability to app mention users within comments on a whiteboard with the associated in-app indicators to inform users of an app mention. Again, great if you're trying to get somebody's attention and they actually see what's going on because they'll see their formal name out there. Related to that, email notifications for the app mentions in comment on a whiteboard. So the ability for mentions within comments on a whiteboard to trigger an email notification to the user with a link back to the mention. Again, it's really great if you are mentioned. It really sucks if you have no clue that you were mentioned and you don't go out to the whiteboard. This will be the perfect combination of the two. And the last one, whiteboard, live text. The ability to see what other users are typing in whiteboard objects in real time, i.e., when a user is typing in a sticky note, you will be able to see the text as they type it. I must admit, I kind of thought it did that already, but apparently it doesn't. Because it's in development right now. That one's due October of this year, along with the loop components one, where the 2 app mentions and the notifications are due in January of 2024, and they're coming to everybody.
Awesome. Well, I have 2 areas that are updating that I can give an update on. The first one is Viva Pulse. There's a bunch of updates with that. So Viva Pulse is your organization-wide survey tool, like how am I feeling? What's the pulse of my organization? So they're coming up with an organization-wide template and question customization. So you can customize it, save things as templates. A build your own scratch, like build it from scratch pulse survey. You can customize the end date, and you can add a link to your internal policies, reminding people what they are during your steps when you're customizing it. You can put that link in there. So our internal sharing policy or something like that. So that's what's going on with Viva Pulse. With Viva Goals, there's also a bunch of updates. So Viva Goals personalized introductory experience for new users. So the first run experience is getting tailored to a user's roles. Enhanced project tracking with ADO integration. So now you can track that using ADO. I don't know if either of you guys have used ADO, the Azure DevOps, where you can link the task and different things there. And then Viva Goals, access and interact with goals progress directly within your Outlook email. So we do know that the more I can do right where I'm at and the less I have to go other places, the more I will do. So excited to see those things coming. So those are the updates that are kind of out there for Viva Pulse and Viva Goals.
I'll just mention one other one because I really wish I was in the Copilot early adopter program, because this is like everything that I want to see and play with in Copilot. And that is Outlook on the Web suggested drafts with Copilot. So when replying to a message, Copilot can automatically give you suggestions on how to start your draft. Click any suggestion so Copilot can draft a message for you. Again, I'm hoping that people will not look at this and go, well, yep, that's my message, click, and they never type a word on their own. But I think it's really great when you're trying to figure out how to come back with an email, or how to, pick up the thread of what somebody has and what do you want to type, just to be able to get that head start to say, hey, give me a suggestion here, let it go, see what
I
it looks
love
like,
it.
and run with it.
I
Yeah,
love
I
it,
think
Tom,
this is
because
awesome.
when I was using a tool the other day, LinkedIn came up, and it was the end of the day. I needed to post something on LinkedIn, and LinkedIn had one of these. Let us write it for you. Tell us what you think you want to say. And I was kind of like, I want to say in a happy tone something about this and how we do this really good, better than everybody else. Here's why. But my message was so like, you could have never taken what I said and it post into a thing, right? Like it was literally like, write this, but be in a good mood and don't get too cheesy, like things like that. And then it popped out this beautiful thing, and I'm like, all right, let's go. that was quick.
Yeah.
So I will definitely be using Copilot very soon, as soon as I can get my hands on it.
Exactly.
And I think it will make just, reply kindly to this email when I really want to say. No.
Okay, same answer, only in a lighter tone.
Yeah, that's it's funny. So I'm excited about those types of things, but I don't have too many fears of people just taking it as it is, unless they become like brilliant prompt engineers. So, which will happen over time, but by then I think it will be so natural in our thing. It almost takes more work sometimes to give it a prompt that's good enough to just give it to me versus letting it,
Right.
Anyway. Well, that's cool. Well, anything else for you, Tamara, in development? If not, you can move us to rolling out. All right. Well, why don't you roll us out?
I will roll you out. So let's see, what's the best thing? SharePoint page sharing. So with this feature, users can now share SharePoint pages and news posts individually without having to share the entire site, just like other Microsoft 365 files. Now, all sharing settings at the site and tenant level will be respected. So I have some pretty strong sharing feelings. I'd like to share my feelings. about sharing
on a page,
individual.
it just got easier.
Yeah. About sharing individual documents and sharing individual pages. I think it creates a hot mess on your SharePoint site, because what it does is it actually breaks inheritance and creates unique permissions for that document and for that page, which means it no longer inherits the permissions. So if you make changes to your site level permissions, you're kind of out of luck. So that's how I feel about that.
We'll have to see how that one turns out.
Yeah, I don't know. I used to have a lot stronger feelings about it.
Mm-hmm.
And now I have less strong feelings about it, because usually the stuff that I would be sharing, like when I think of how I would use this tool, it really doesn't matter. It's a point in time thing. A lot of the things that I'd have on a page, so it doesn't necessarily matter. But then sometimes when I have been sharing the pages and then I go back into my site and I was like, why do all these people have access? Oh yeah, because I needed them to get this one piece of information. So I'm on the fence, Tamara. My feelings are quite neutral.
I'm on this side of the fence, Tom.
Yeah, because I used to be very strong about it, but then Microsoft just kind of said, I know you don't like sharing things individually, and I don't know you like folders, but we're going to make it so easy that everyone's going to do it.
And that's what's happening.
Yeah.
The other thing that I found very interesting, Microsoft Teams, 1,000 channels per Teams. I'm like, what?
Is that a challenge?
You never know you need them until you'll need them.
Huh? You got them, even though you don't need them. So users can now create up to 1,000 channels per team, which allows you to have the channels you need organized in one team.
Cool.
Well, I've only got one. And so I'm going to jump right in front of Tom and share it. And then he can share the rest. Outlook, see a recipient's auto reply message when you're composing an email. This just makes my heart happy. We're going to put this in the category of delighters. If I'm emailing Tamara and I need to be told in or out of the office that she's in another country and is not going to respond to my emails, but I should contact, Michael, it would be a heck of a lot easier to know that I need to contact Michael as I'm composing the message versus after. So I'm super excited about this. I think it will just reduce the amount of cross threads I have to do, so I don't have to do a reply to all and say adding Michael in Tamara's absence or forwarding it to Michael, and now I've got 2 conversations going. So I think the reality of having that feature is going to be very welcome.
Well, and it can be too, the email that you were going to write to Tamara could be dramatically different than the email that you would write to Michael if you know that Michael's going to be the person who gets it,
Right.
So knowing up front, you can say, okay, instead of just copying him on what I wrote Tamara, I can probably give him a better email for him rather than him and the fact it was supposed to go to Tamara, but she's not here. So guess what? You get to handle it.
Yeah.
So
that's
I
so
like
true.
that.
Yep.
The other one that I will talk about, and then we can move into launched, is Microsoft 365, the new look of Excel, PowerPoint, and Word for the web. This is something we've talked about a little bit before. It's not terribly dramatic. It's one of those things where you'll probably look at it and go, do the dog thing. Things look just a little bit different.
Something looks a little odd.
It's off. I can't put my finger on it. Probably it'll be the Aptos, the new default font that they're rolling out. I think they also mentioned the fact that there's going to be subtly different shading going on, and that you will see different weights for like borders and stuff like that, lines, arrows, things. So again, if you're looking at it and going, am I crazy? Did this just change? Yeah, you could be crazy. And that's not having to do with this though, because it actually did change. So just keep an eye open for that. That's supposed to be out by the end of this month, and it's going to everybody.
Well, I have one more. And then I'll find out if Tamara has any more, or she can take us on to launched. The last one I have, I think I want to mention this one. This is typically one that Adam would mention, but because of what it is, I think people might be waiting for it or have been waiting for it. And that's purview compliance, insider risk management, OCR support for insider risk management. So if you've got files internal that are OCR, which is the optical character recognition, so think handwriting, and I'm taking a picture of it, I'm scanning it, and then I have the text in there. That's going to be able to be protected with insider risk management. And so if that's one of the areas that you were waiting for that feature to become available, it is rolling out now.
And I saw one more that I actually missed when I was doing my
it.
review this morning. OneNote Stream on SharePoint is now supported in OneNote. It will support Stream 2.0 or Stream on SharePoint OneDrive, not Clean Stream Classic, and provide an enhanced unfurl experience, allowing users to insert a linked video and play it directly within OneNote pages. Furthermore, users will have the ability to apply formatting options such as resizing and changing the shape of the inserted video. I don't necessarily like when people say, hey, I'm going to go store a whole video out here, but considering that wikis are going away, OneNotes are taking their place, being able to pop a link in there to a video and make it look like what you want it to is going to really help with that whole adoption of this OneNote in your team space probably is going to be the place that you go to for all your documentation, anything that you need to keep an eye on, stuff like that. So I really like the fact this is coming out, and it should be out by the end of next month.
Awesome. Well, Tamara, what do you have in launch that you love? Or
I just have one thing that I'll touch on. Microsoft 365 app key document updates. So Microsoft will be introducing a feature right now, because it's launched, introducing a feature on the profile card as a highlight that tells users when key collaborators have taken some action on key documents when looking at their profile card. Now, each collaboration network is a cluster of people, text strings, and Microsoft 365 items like documents. And the actions that you can see the users in this collaboration network take on are these key documents are modify, comment, reply, mention, multiple modifications, and share to you. Now, these updates are only visible to other users within the same collaboration network, so your close collaborators.
Very cool. Tom, do you have anything? I know there's not too much here this week.
There's not, but I'm going to cover one of them just because every time I see this, it makes me smile because I'm like, I don't believe we're talking about this, but I sort of kind of get it, I think, in a different world that I don't exist or inhabit. Minecraft Education, the Trails and Tales update is ready. It includes bug fixes to increase reliability of multiplayer connections. We also added fun new mobs and features like camels, bamboo sniffers, cherry groves, and archaeology sites. Create a new world with the redesigned templates page and write more code with the agent. Use the help button to share your feedback with the Minecraft team anytime. I love that whole thing. Don't have a clue as to what it means. I'll never see it in my lifetime, but I'm just happy reading that. It's right up there with some of the other great writing that they've sent out our way before.
Well, for those in the education space, I'm sure this is very timely. Are they going to get it fixed before school next year? Yes, they did.
Always
just barely.
need fun new mobs.
I'm not sure what a camel mob is like, but
I don't know.
It's a mob of camels.
It's the sniffer mob that has me concerned, but we'll just let that be as it is.
All right. Well, to close this out, there's just a few updates for Microsoft PureView. So endpoint DLP, you've got data loss prevention, visibility into configuration and policy, seeing status of devices, and then endpoint DLP app groups and granular app restriction policies for the U.S. government clouds. So some of the DLP features and endpoint features coming into the Gov clouds. And I think that is it for us this week, isn't it?
That is.
Yep.
It's been fun. We'll be back next week. Hopefully I can make it next week. I'm on the fence. And then the next week I'll for sure be gone. So you'll be in the
Don't
capable
make-
hands of Tam and Tamara. Tam and
Don't
Tamara.
m-
Tamara
Tam
and
and Tom.
Tom.
Whoa, this is like the whole Benifer thing going on here.
That was great.
Awesome.
I'm adopting her last
I love
name
that.
next
I'm glad
week,
we
you
have
know.
it on tape.
So funny. Well, thanks
All right.
everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye,
All
everyone.
right, bye.
Bye.